YouTube. We are live. Should be live on YouTube momentarily. Okay, if you're ready, Alex, Glenn, can you please start the recording on TG as well, so we can get the show started.
Yep, doing that. Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, Whalecoin Talk community. We got InsuranceFi here today with us, and Alex representing. A lot of stuff to go through. Super exciting. Alex, before we get started, maybe you can give us a little bit of info on the team and their experience, and then we can do a nice little overview for everybody listening in, and we can dive deeper.
Definitely. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Acti. First of all, pleasure to be here at Whalecoin Talk. I mean, it's always a pleasure being hosted by you guys. I can see the hype, almost 200 people in the chat, in the voice chat as we speak. So, I mean, thanks everybody for taking the time to join me and the team. I'm going to be the only one talking, but I think the team is already. I'm too lazy to scroll down, but I think they're in the voice chat already. Anxious to kind of bring you guys forward InsuranceFi. Before we dive in straight into the project and the utilities and so on and so forth, let me give you a couple of details about the team, what they did so far, who they have amongst themselves, and so on and so forth. Brief introduction is that they've been around the market since 2016 as a group. They've been involved in many related jobs. No mentioned project to me, so therefore I'm not going to be able to share any well-known projects from the team. In this particular formula that they have, it's their first ever developed project over the space. So I mean, to put it into simpler terms, first project ever, 9. Sorry, 9. I think I'm losing my mind. I was looking at the chart. 14 members in total. Sorry about that. It's basically they've been around the space for quite some time, and they pretty much seen the ups and downs of the space. This is the reason why they have faith and confidence that the crypto market and the blockchain applications can coexist with the real life utilities as well. You're going to understand what I mean by real life utilities once we talk about the bridge that they're trying to bring over from real life over to smart contracts. They know the volatility exists, and they were expecting it not only on short-term development, but on mid and long-term, on the chart as well. It only makes sense. The functionality for them is still there, so they know how to develop this project to make it succeed. When it comes to the members, I've said 14 members in total, a highly esteemed team of programmers, marketing experts, researchers that make up the InsuranceFi. And the 14 members are divided as follows: 3 research and development teams, 2 marketers, 2 content creators, 1 accountant, 2 designers, and 4 coders, people that actually coded the DApp, the contract, and the future utilities. This is a brief introduction on themselves. In regards to the vision, basically, if you guys are wondering in a nutshell, how did they come up with the project and how did they started to build upon it? Because of their financial expertise and pretty much real life experience within insurances, they actually spent the last several months, 4 or 5 months, maybe even more, examining hundreds of projects and trying to figure out what were the reasons that determined those projects to succeed, to fail, or to get stuck. The last category is actually a special one because lately we've seen projects across the space that launched. They have quite a great volume within the first couple of days or maybe a week, and then they simply get stuck. No ups, no downs. There's no volume. It is what it is. So they actually tried to find a explanation for that, a reasonable, a variable, or multiple ones, in order to get the perspective. What else did they did? I mean, aside for analyzing projects, they thought a protocol needs to be built in order to give people attractive returns along with that particular chance of winning, no matter how the market evolves. That's why I've mentioned they're not really codependent on the market, and they're trying to implement and bridge over real life insurance companies with the utility of blockchain. And pretty much this is how the name and concept of InsuranceFi was born, a combination of both finance and insurance as an industry. They're going to provide users with a decentralized, sustainable staking platform and the financial instruments to protect the investment. This is the operative keyword. This is what we're going to focus on mostly within the protocol, through the use of the IFP, the InsuranceFi protocol, the first of its kind that's going to protect the investor's interest while still making effective returns of up to 1,200 APR. I was about to say 12,000. So 1,200% APR return on the investment. That's what's at stake right now on the protocol. That's the maximum return. I'm not sure which of you actually asked me the question. It was Glenn or Acti. So I'm gonna say to either one of you, yeah, you have the floor right now. That was a brief introduction on the team and on the vision.
Yeah. It was me. It's actually, yeah. Actually, it's super exciting, and bringing insurance to DeFi is something super exciting. So, can we dive a little bit deeper? Like, how easy will it be for people to actually benefit from these insurances? How will it work for the average user?
Well, I mean, definitely by stating this, I would say you guys actually need to kind of be prepared for my presentation, because we're going to go deep into the utilities by stating that, trying to cover pretty much the basics and the long-term perspective of the project within the best of my capabilities and abilities, of course. So, I mean, long story short, how will you guys be able to benefit from that? It's all going to start with you being a part of the protocol, purchasing the native token. As simple as that. As I mentioned, fair launch ended. We managed to raise, off the top of my head, 1,190 BNB or close to that. The soft cap being 50. Most of that particular amount, of course, was a result of the FOMO. People didn't want to miss, and they actually saw that we're gaining much more hype within the space. That being said, today, 3 p.m. UTC, we had our launch. At the moment, I would say that the price is pretty much close to the one that we launched upon. So we're pretty much there at the moment on an organic level. The price is at 9.2, if it makes any difference, close to 900,000 as a market cap. Definitely, people took profits. Of course, it was only normal. It was expected. So, I mean, to come back to the original statement, that's where you would probably be entitled to start by purchasing our token. There is at the moment, I'm not sure. Let me actually take a look on the chat, not to provide incorrect information, because we had a actually there is still active a biggest buy competition, and it's gonna end in almost 2 hours. The biggest buy competition is going to end. The price for that is 10 BNB. So to start off, there's already an incentive on the pool of investors. Biggest buy competition, 2 hours left on that, 10 BNB as a price. Good stuff. So you're in the protocol. You purchased the native token. What are you going to do with it? We have 6 different pools of staking with different APRs, of course. BUSD APR pool stand as follows. 15 days, those go into different periods, of course. The minimum is 15 days with a 50% return on your investment, 30 days with 100%, 60 days, 200%, 90 days, 300%, 120 days, 600%, and then 360 days, 1,200%. That's the maximum that you guys can earn by staking for a total period of 360 days, almost a year, of course. That's where it all starts from. You guys are going to be joining our protocol by staking your native token, and from there on, once you stake, take into account that the DApp on the mainnet is going to be available in a couple of days. We're going to talk about that, of course, on the roadmap. So once you stake, actually, you're going to be asked, do you want to sign the insurance contract or not? Select no. You're just going to stake 15 days, 50%, what amount of period is going to return your APR at the end. As simple as that. Then if you select the yes button, this is where the things get interesting. Basically, what this particular function, what the insurance fund does, you're going to sign the insurance contract. And this one is going to pretty much try to guarantee that if the pairing, because what's most important for you guys to know is that the insurance protocol functions on the native token to BNB pairing. This is the reference that it's going to take into account. So once you decide to sign, 10% of the amount that you staked is going to be cashed in as a fee for signing the contract, and it's going to go back into the fund. more to gain on that when I cover the insurance fund and its benefits and its ways of attracting a fund to make it sustainable. So you're paying the 10% tax, you're already insured. What happens from there? We're looking at two potential scenarios, both of them being a positive incentive for the pool of holders and investors that the protocol has. Let's start off by saying you chose the 15 days. You're going to get a 50% at the end of those. What if the native token to BNB pairing goes up and you're actually capable of doing that 50% in the next day? Then your insurance contract is going to get liquidated, meaning you're going to be able to early unlock or early unstake your tokens by paying a 10% fee. That's the early unstake fee. You pay that, that one goes back into the fund. You're able to withdraw the tokens plus the 50% gain and able to restart this particular pool of staking, insurance contract, and so on and so forth for the next period, 15, 30, 60 days, whatever. So that's one of the benefits. If it goes up faster than your staking period, you're able to early withdraw, pay a fee, of course, to early withdraw, but then cash out on the 50% or 100% or depending on the APR of your particular staking pool. Definitely the core foundation and the core concept wasn't actually thought on the going up. It was on the going down, because most of the investors think, okay, I'm going to stake, but I'm going to stake now, and until the end of my staking period, 60 days to take into account, as an example, maybe the price goes down, and then when I unstake, it's not going to be relevant at 200% because nothing. Our protocol is going to calculate if at the start of the staking period, you guys staked, and then it goes down with 10%. Take into account the minimum is 10% to cover, the max is 99%. Of course, 99% would be terrible, but still, it can cover up to 99%, as I've mentioned. So your particular, at the end of the period of 30 days or 60 days or whatever, your amount went down as a total with 10%, 20%, 30%. Our fund, our protection fund, is going to calculate what does that mean into native tokens, and it's going to reward you with a difference that you basically lost. So I mean, to take into example, to put this into perspective, you're going to deposit 1,000 tokens, okay? You're losing 10% out of those. That's basically the loss that you're going to incur at the end, because our particular pairing went down 10%. Protocol is going to calculate 10% of that and compensate you the difference. So at the end, you're actually going to be able to withdraw your particular 1,000 which you staked, and then the difference of 110, which is going to be the difference. This is how the protocol is going to generate the compensation should the particular pairing or native token to BNB go down. So this is the second way in which the protocol is built and envisioned, so that if it goes up, you win. If it goes down, you are covered. What I want to mention this for the entire community, I want to mention this right now for the entire community is, at the moment there are and there will be always limited amounts of spots for the insurance contract. This is one of the ways to make it feasible and viable for the long-term perspective. Because if you allow 10,000 people, as an example, let's assume we're going to have a 10,000 holder pool. What if everybody wants to join and at some point we see a decrease in the pairing? It wouldn't be sustainable for any protocol to generate that particular compensation. It's impossible. And therefore, not to overstate things, not to promise that we're gonna be able to reward 5,000, 10,000 people, 20,000 people. We will be having limited spots. More to come on that once the mainnet is fully tested and functional. So the number of spots will be announced by the team on the community once they're generated and fully deployed. That being said, there's the utilities that I mentioned. So to sum up a bit, what you guys are gonna pay, and we're gonna cover the ways that the fund is gonna make it sustainable and feasible by attracting funds. You stake, you pay 10% out of the total fee as a tax. That tax goes back into the fund. You early unstake, because of the liquidation or because you wanna move on, or because you want to change the period, 10% you need to pay as an early unlock fee. That particular fund goes back into the insurance pool so that it covers the other potential losses, of course, and make it feasible. Your contract fee goes in, your early unlock goes in, the liquidation, of course, goes in back into the chain, making it a circle of let's say adoption of money and then reward for the others that stuck with the protocol and didn't get liquidated. The tax from the trading volume, I will cover that once we get to the tokenomics as well. And 20% of the total supply, this will be reiterated at the tokenomics, goes back into the actually is allocated for the fund in order to try and make it as sustainable as possible. So 5 different ways of allocating funds and gaining traction into the protocol to make sure that its own purpose, and the only purpose for this is to compensate the investors. This is basically the utility and the way that the team envisioned this to make it as sustainable as possible for the long term. In a nutshell, this would be the protocol envisioned and designed with all of its features. Let me know if this is okay so far, my man.
Yeah, it's great. A lot of info, but keep it coming. It sounds super exciting, and it sounds like it's a pretty straightforward method up till now, which is basically getting tokens, going on the DApp, and just working your way through it. So far so good on my end. I'd be curious about the limited spots that you were mentioning with the insurance contracts. Is that gonna be revised in the future, or how that's gonna work? But other than that, yeah, everything's super clear.
Definitely. Well, what I mentioned in regards to the spots, I will ask the team in case they decided anything in the meantime. Although I think not. From what I know, they weren't actually generated yet because our mainnet is going to be available in a couple of days live on the taken off the test. Right now, they're actually testing to make sure once the token is live, it's easier to make the test and to make sure that you can fully implement it.
Hmm.
And once they decide to do that, they actually confirmed right now they will provide every single information. Before we go live. I mean, they will actually provide the number of spots before we go live so that everybody knows. 10 people can stake, 100 people, 500 people, whatever the amount is. So, I mean, within the best of my abilities, Acti, I'm going to be honest, I don't know the exact spots right now. And the team is still testing to see if it's feasible to make 500 or 5,000 or, whatever that amount
Hmm.
is, so that once the mainnet is live, you don't actually are forced to go back and say, listen, we thought we could do this, but then we were forced to do the other. And they want to try and make this as reliable as possible, of course. Multiple variables to be taken into account, but I think personally they are on the proper path. That's my incentive on it.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it. And yeah, once we'll get those numbers, I'm sure it'll be distributed in a yeah, in a good way. It looks like they're putting a lot of thought in how this whole works. The insurance, was protecting and then sending out tokens and re-putting it into the ecosystem. So yeah, it sounds exciting. I'll let you go on because I'm excited for you to talk about the Infinity Chain once we get to that part. So yeah, please.
Definitely. Well, I mean, until that, we have a couple of more things to pretty much to cover and to state for the potential investors that might want to join our protocol. Um, there's always a referral pretty much discussion. The team actually thought about it, and they're gonna try and make this as interesting as possible. The referral program is going to be done on 5 different levels. Each of the stakers, of course, you need to be a staker to be a part of this. Each of the stakers will actually have a possibility to generate their own referral link or QR code, and then from there to go on and share it with other friends, family, groups, whatever the pool of connections is. Once that they will start to gain levels. And let me share with you how. Once you invited a people, Acti, you invited someone. Let's say you invited me. The first time that I'm going to withdraw my rewards from the vault, you will start to gain live. They will be calculated in real time. You're going to start to gain the referral commissions, and those are going to be transferred to your account on a daily basis. Once I do that, you will actually gain a level. So you're level 2, I'm level 1,
Hmm.
everybody wins. Your commission percentage is going to go up. Probably you're wondering, okay, but from level 2, how do I go to level 3? Well, two ways actually, and it's going to start expanding, like an octopus with variables. Either you can invite another friend who's going to do the same thing. Once they claim they withdraw their rewards, you're going to gain another level, or you can benefit through me if I invite someone else. Once they actually level up, I'm going to level up, and then you're going to level up as well. So exactly as a trying to build a social network here for the referrals. Another idea that they had, at some point in time, I think they will develop a leaderboard as well for people to understand how many referrals they have. What's most important probably here to understand is that once you get to level 5, it's important for your own earnings to actually keep inviting people, because you're going to be at the top level of of the commission. So yeah, I had this question in another AMA, and then basically they basically they actually asked me. I was checking the question to see. They asked me, okay, so once I get to level 5, is there any point of inviting people? Well, the whole point of getting to level 5 is to have the top level of commission. But if you don't invite anyone, you're not going to gain that commission. So I would say definitely strive to get there, within the best of the possibilities, and from there on you're going to gain the best commission by inviting other people. That's another way of incentivizing people. And then we get to the coveted infinity chain that you guys probably want to hear more about. This infinity chain is actually, I mentioned at the beginning of the discussion and the presentation. Basically, I mentioned that the team is trying to bridge over real life utilities to the blockchain industry. So how are they tackling to do that? By actually creating a separate POS blockchain for the insurance industry. So I mean, basically, how this works, they're going to try to change how traditional insurance industry functions right now by creating a trusted decentralized platform that's powered by artificial intelligence. That particular platform is going to be able to analyze and appraise risk and the insurance contract. Thing that at the moment is doing the whole process is actually making it a bit cumbersome. Let me give you guys an example. Once you decide to insure, to get a policy on your car, I mean, probably with the car is based on each broker and each company. So let's talk about something big, probably a home. So you have a house, or a flat or a condo or whatever, and you actually wanna insure that, or you're forced by the legislation, similar to myself, to insure it. You choose a broker within the company that you're interested in or whatever, and then they're going to start assessing and appraising the first of all the property, and then sharing you their policies based on some factors and some risk factors. Those are actually kind of, how should I put this, maybe non-transparent in a way, because depending on the country that you live in and the floor, typically you shouldn't have earthquakes, for example, at the top of the risk, and yet they actually placed it sometimes there. That being just an example, of course. The particular platform that these guys are trying to develop is going to have artificial intelligence analyze that in a transparent way, in order for the policy to be generated, within the best of your interest. First of all, that's one of the ideas. So instead of those cumbersome and untransparent due diligences that the brokers do, insurance plans will be implemented using smart contracts, therefore bridging real life utility to the blockchain adoption, basically. Of course, in order to realize to pretty much realize the vision, in addition to apply the smart contracts, the InsuranceFi as a protocol and as a company will definitely need to develop the ecosystem, first of all, add more use case to the native token, and expand coverage, not only with gaining more adoption and more investors, but also spread to other areas of interest, virtual assets, NFTs, cross-chain investments. There is a possibility at some point in time to expand to other cross chains, other blockchains. Sorry, of course, this is a long-term perspective. We're looking at 2023 for the entire development. Maybe start of the development. I don't want to overstate things, but the Infinity Chain is not going to be done probably in 1 year. It needs a lot more adoption than this. But in a nutshell, this is what they're trying to bring over: a separate POS blockchain where the insurance industry can actually bring solutions to the problems that I've mentioned, allowing them to develop the smart contracts and develop their own DApps and electronic contracts, bridging them over to the smart contracts and making the adoption on the blockchain even easier. This is basically, in a nutshell, Acti. Yeah, let me know how you want to proceed from here, my man.
It sounds exciting. I want to take some community questions soon. But just to sum up the whole thing, it sounds really good because um, everything you've talked about, right, with the insurance, the staking, and everything, is just basically putting money in investors' pockets, right? From everything you've mentioned, like the early unlock fees that go back into the ecosystem, the liquidation for the insurance. Then there's the tax and the tokenomics. You also the tokens that have been put aside. Everything in the money flow is just built out to go out to the investors. So this is a very strong point, I feel. And yeah, of course, with the Infinity chain, I know it's not easy to build a blockchain, and I don't want to get very technical and ask detail that might not even be ready. So that's super exciting as well. Before I do take some questions from the community, maybe you can tell us about the marketing campaigns and what are some of the more lucrative strategies that they're using to push InsuranceFi out there.
For sure, for sure. I mean, at this point in time, considering the fact that we're actually live and launched, that's what everybody wants to know. What's about to happen? I mean, what are you guys planning to do? What's the team thinking? So on and so forth. So I mean, as a start, let me actually. I'm having an issue with Telegram. I mean, it's freezing on my end, so I don't know. Is it okay for you, Acti? Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
is this
can hear
something?
you fine. It hasn't happened for me. Like you've been coming through clearly throughout. So
Okay, it's actually weird. I mean, if it's okay for you guys and you can hear me, it's even better.
yeah, we can hear you
Marketing
fine.
stuff. Perfect. I thought I was actually let's say cutting off on your end as well. Perfect. Now, when we talk about marketing, I mean, there are so many things that I could mention, and probably it wouldn't be enough. Marketing is definitely something that doesn't actually end. I mean, it's not just a face on the roadmap that you add. Once you accomplish that, you're done, you're dusted, whatever. Marketing is something that's going to be ongoing for the entire lifespan of this particular project. Um, going on with what they did so far. So, I mean, basically starting from an organic community and an organic team. They developed their team from a group. I think of they were initially two members that knew each other, and then added one more. So 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth until they added the last member, 14th. Organic way. They had to search for each and every one of them. Built a team. Started to put ideas on paper. From there on, bridge to developing the project through what I've mentioned from the vision and how they started to work on this. Um, from there, they relied on their community to gather more traction, more people, and try to expand from there. I was actually recommended to them, and they were recommended to me through a mutual connection. It's a big channel. I'm not going to mention the name because it's not even important, but it's a big channel that thought, I can help them and they can help me on the same time. So I started to review their business model, and from there on, I understood they have quite a plan. Again, I'm not going to state or overstate that what these guys are doing or trying to do, it hasn't been done. I think it's quite unique on the space and on the Infinity chain. Mostly remains to be seen, of course, through the progress. AMAs and calls with pretty much every top tier one channel that you guys can think about. It's been done. We're looking at DeFi Ape Talks, Gollum, Venom, Caesar, Solitaire, Solis Community Shield Seals, Whalecoin Talk. And I understood they're planning a couple of other AMAs. But of course, probably they will take maybe a couple of days as a break. Them as and me as well, because it's been exhausting. I mean, the past probably 4 or 5 days have been tough. It's not easy to prepare a launch from their perspective. Maybe not even from my perspective easier, because I just need to do the talking. They need to pretty much arrange the other 99% of the factors. But probably they're going to take let's say a couple of days break from the AMAs, time in which they will arrange the YouTube partnerships and TikTok that they've been discussing with. I understood that there are quite some big names there. Unfortunately, I don't follow anyone. I mean, unless it's Coin Bureau, that's probably the only YouTube channel that I've heard of affiliated with crypto, and they actually, they help me a lot to understand how crypto functions. Aside for that, I don't typically know, influencers and stuff like that, but I understood they have some connections on that side. YouTube to make the full perspective on videos, presenting the D app once it goes live on the mainnet, the staking, the protocol, pretty much everything, and TikTok to kind of make how should I put this? Probably the, let's say, the short 1 to 2 minute videos for people to, to see the highlights basically. Then you're looking at CoinGecko. It's already done. CoinMarketCap, I think it's in progress. The team hasn't confirmed to me, but I know it's fast tracked as well. Trending pretty much everywhere. They're going to start in a couple of days, probably with the trending on Dex2, Avadex, 2C, PooCoin, pretty much everywhere you could think about it. Because you need to make sure that when people join, random people, so to speak, they join, they look on CoinMarketCap or Avadex or Dex2s for other projects. They actually need to see you out there. That's how you bring more investors to your protocol. It's very important to have pretty much every platform trending you, or showcasing your protocol at least once per day, twice per day. Depends on the offer, depends on the protocol, depends on what they have to to share with you. Some huge partnerships along the line may be secured. I mean, don't want to state we're going to secure X or Y unless it's done. So this is pretty much the marketing strategies that they're gonna adopt. Plus, one thing that I wanted to kind of mention. Let me actually pull up my notes here because I have some things happen already with the launch already, and the big buy and last buy competition. Big buy implemented right now, as I've mentioned. I think we're looking at about an hour and a half still to go with the 10 BNB price. The MA with you guys, of course, which is in progress. So far, a wonderful MA. I'm looking at almost 200, over 200 people. Sorry, and then we're looking at 2nd of September ASBIT listing, and 3rd of September CoinsBit listing. Two centralized exchanges that were secured before. In order to gain volume, to gain traction, to gain adoption over to our chart. I know most of the investors out there, most of the I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way. Most of the gamblers and the degens typically look for CoinMarketCap to pump those numbers in. CoinMarketCap is gonna probably come. I don't think we're listed yet. Let me search. No, we're not listed yet, but incoming. Definitely what the team focused on was to gain two centralized exchanges and to make them organic. I mean, we probably could have done both of them in the same day. Probably could have done all the MAs in faster. But the point is, once you apply your marketing strategies, to do them in an organic way so that they have the proper impact on the chart, on the team, on the protocol, on the community, and so on and so forth. This is what's upcoming right now. This is what's pretty much being prepared for you guys with the banner. As I've mentioned, more MAs. They're tackling already some communities from the Chinese, Spain, Germany, and Turkey sides. Huge adopters from what I've heard. I've had some wonderful MAs in Turkish communities and in Chinese communities. Not to mention the Spain communities. They've been crazy about crypto lately. I heard some rumors that they're planning to bridge over some native blockchain, so something like that. I wouldn't know more about it, but definitely the team is targeting more than one region in order to expand to the proper investors. So that's pretty much all in a nutshell. Sorry for the long comment, but I know marketing goes a long way for you guys, for us, for pretty much everybody. So yeah, that's what's being prepared right now.
Yeah, no, that was great, and it looks like the team is set to go out there, push it, and having all this prepared before launch, and the listings, and this nice staking dApp that everybody's using, and this mechanism in the ecosystem, I think is great. And I know we're running a little bit over time here, but I want to take at least one community question here. Let's see, Syed.
That's my bad. That's actually my bad, Acti, and I want to apologize to everybody. Let me make sure we're gonna take more than one question. That's for sure. Do you guys have anything planned in the next 10 minutes? Maybe any future MA?
Well, we have something in 20 minutes, but let's take a question
Okay,
or two and see how it goes. Yeah.
definitely. Let's take
Let's
more
see.
than one question, maybe two if possible. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few hands up here. Let's see what people say. Maybe try to keep it one question per person so we can get a few in. Syed, go for it, my man.
Yeah, thank you, Akti. So you mentioned that each time when there is a increase in the price of IF token pair to BNB, the user's insurance contract will be liquidated, and users' staking plan will not be insured anymore. So I want to know that will when the user's insurance contract is liquidated due to the increase in the price, will users be able to buy a new insurance staking plan on the new price without early withdrawal? Will they be able to do so?
That's not going to be an option. I'm not sure who asked the question, but my Telegram has been acting funny. I think you mentioned Sied.
Mhm.
I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but the problem, I mean, not the problem, the protocol is built in this way. If you gain your earnings faster than the entire period, so let's take for example $1,000, you staked it 15 days, that was your choice, which is going to generate a 50% return. Because the native token to BNB pairing went up 50%, you're going to gain that. It went up, you're going to gain your earnings. At that point, you're automatically going to get liquidated. Why are you going to get liquidated? Because we cannot insure further if your APR percentage has been, let's say, it went over. That's not how the pro. It wouldn't be fair. I mean, think about it this way: what happens if you stake for 360 days, and the token has such a boom that you gain your 1,200% in a week? And we still continue to ensure that particular one. If it goes down, we're gonna award you with the 1,200% because that's what you're entitled to. But then we also have to kind of cover the losses should that go down. So I mean, we need to keep the balance, and therefore allowing people to win and to be able to cover those potential losses as well, because charts fluctuate for sure. It goes up and down, and therefore our protocol needs to be prepared for both of the variants, but not at the same time. I hope it does make sense to you, to you, Sid.
Mhm.
Yeah, it makes sense, and thank you for clearing it up. Thank you so much. Over to you, Akti.
Okay, thank
Thanks
you
as
for
well
the
for the question, my
question.
man.
Let's go to Western. Western, go for it, man.
Thanks, Akti. Okay, I just have one question. Actually, I have a few questions, based from the artificial intelligence algorithm, but I'll be asking only one question. You said that you'll be tackling the problem of NFTs and cross-chain investments by expanding your coverage, and you're also going to be getting virtual assets, NFTs, and cross-chain investments. You'll be developing the insurance fee system by doing this. Would you be integrating into physical assets? Are you guys owning any form of physical assets, in order to support liquidation?
I mean, just to clarify that, what do you mean? What are you referring to by physical assets?
Well, what are you going to, aside from the fact that you're using virtual assets and among many other things, your statement here was that in order to realize this vision, in addition to applying smart insurance contract, insurance fee needs to expand its coverage not only on investments in us, but also spread like virtual assets and cross-chain investments. Aside from virtual assets and among other virtual assets, are you running any? Would you guys be venturing into real estate among other physical assets?
Oh, okay, I get it. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say as a speculation. I'm not the one to speculate, but still, maybe in the future that is a possibility. For now, aside for the native token implementation, fair launch, launch on the market, the main focus for the team is bridging over the insurance industries. Once they gain the benefit of blockchain adoption, smart contracts, it will be easier for the team to think about such a larger scale of perspective. Because I mean, at the moment it would be definitely not impossible, but it would be hard and probably counterproductive for the protocol to digress straight into such big live, as you said, live investments. And yeah, I mean, probably somewhere in the future that could be a plan, but for now it's more of a, let's bridge over the traditional processes over to the smart contracts. They gain benefit. We earn them as partners, as an adopters, as our protocol, and we definitely go from there with further expanding on the utility. That's what I can say within the best of my abilities, my man. I hope that satisfies you.
Yes, yes, I'm really satisfied. I'll be asking the rest of my questions in the Telegram group. Thanks for your answers. Over to you, Akti.
Thank you kindly. Really appreciate it, my man.
Thanks, Western. Let's do one more. Let's see. Venice, you had a question for Alex. Go for it.
Yeah, I do have a question actually. Thank you. Okay, Alex, as you mentioned and said asked about insurance liquidation. So I was thinking, do you have anything in place to notify the users when their insurance is near to liquidation so that they can unlock the checking package? And will there be any early unlock fee deducted in this case?
Well, I mean, definitely thank you for the question, Venice. For the sake of time, I'm going to try and make this as fast as possible. So, definitely, early unlock fee is 10%, no matter what the case is. Either you get liquidated or you want to move on to a lower a staking tier or whatever the case. 10% of your total staking value is going to be paid to early unlock your tokens. Now, when it comes to the liquidation, will there be notifications? For sure. Basically, because of the limited spots, we want to make sure that people have the time to react to this. I mean, it's probably going to be adjusted and, let's say, developed throughout the lifespan of the protocol. For now, what I can say is that notifications will inform people once they're. I mean, if you get liquidated fast, it's just going to inform you that your insurance got liquidated. Because imagine what volatility would actually be needed for us to. I mean, there's simply no way for us to prevent that volatility. If the native token to BNB goes up 50 or 100%, we wouldn't know. I mean, unless someone actually tells us we're going to invest that amount, and nobody does, we're not going to know what's going to happen with the price. We're going to sell, we're going to buy. Yeah, investors don't really notify us of that. So to let people know you're almost about to be liquidated, that's almost impossible. Definitely some sort of notification system will be done, letting people know that you're above the 25% threshold, so that you can at least try to react. But yeah, from there on, I mean, definitely it's going to be a work in progress to make this as feasible as possible for our investors and adopters. I hope it does make sense and you're happy with my answer, my man.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with your answer, and thank you so much for answering it.
Thanks a lot for the question and for your engagement, for
Thank
sure.
you for the questions, guys. Really, people are really exciting, and yeah, I mean, it's not every day you see in these conditions. Fair Launch is filling more than 1,000 BNB and then going on to launch, delivering their products, and keep on working on delivering cooler DeFi products for all of us. So definitely an exciting time. And as always, guys, Whalecoin Talk is for educational purposes. We don't provide for any financial advice. You have to do your own research, right? But we do provide you with the links. So the chat is still locked. We have the link to the official website right there. Go through it, and there's a link to the DApp, and go to the Telegram, ask all your questions. I know it can get a little bit technical here, but at the same time we keep it sort of high level so everybody can get the general idea. But if you're curious about more, do join the Telegram and ask all your questions. I'm sure there'll be someone there to answer any and all of them. So thank you to the InsuranceFi team for being here with us. Thank you for everybody tuning in, and thank you, Alex, for the great presentation. Awesome job as always, and yeah, good luck with insurance finance, and looking forward to the future. It looks exciting.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Acti. And I speak on behalf of the team. They actually DM me and wanted to make sure that you guys get the message. They're happy that they were hosted by you, Acti, and by the community. 200 people, a lot of engagement. So definitely, we thank you for that. For the questions, if we missed it, definitely join the social. Tag me or tag any of the admins. I'm gonna do my best to answer them. It was a pleasure, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Yeah, bye from the InsuranceFi team, and thank you for your engagement again.
Thank you, Alex, and yeah, thank you everybody for coming. And we'll finish the recordings, and we'll send copies over for the Telegram one and also the YouTube stream. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a nice day. We'll see you all a little bit later. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Acti. Bye.